Greetings, adventurers. This is Valinet from WoWGoldTitans, and we're here for Fish Tales part of our Tales from the Scrolls WoW edition. So you may be asking yourself, what are the Fish Tales? Well, the Fish Tales are an exploration achievement that you can get, and you get it by grabbing these scrolls. And this fish scroll here is the first of the 4. And this is for the Jinyu lore. And these are located throughout all the continents of Pandaria. They aren't in one area in particular, like you're not going to find all the fishtail ones in the Jade Forest. In fact, the fishtails lore objects happen for Watersmithing, happen here in the Jade Forest. The Waterspeakers happens in the Valley of the Four Winds. Origins can be found in the Krasarang Wilds, and Roll Call can be found at the Kun-Lai Summit. So, now that you know where they are, I'm going to actually show you each individual one, as well as their coordinates, and actually read to you the lore that is inscribed on these scrolls. Now, if you just want the locations of each of these 4, there will be an annotation on the screen to link you to the end of the video, which has all 4 locations and the scrolls and their locations. So let's begin with the first one. Watersmithing. This is at the Moonwater Retreat, way at the south of the Jade Forest. It's at coordinate 6687. So here's Watersmithing for the Jinyu lore. Unlike the fire and heat forges of the Pandarian and Mogu, the Jinyu have mastered the art of water forging. They shape stones and metal by using pressures and currents of water. Originally, they would scavenge for polished stone and materials in the river. They developed an eye for the places that would provide the best quality baubles and rocks. Over the ages, they learned to manipulate the water through their magics to craft exceptional edifices of rock and stone that defy rivalry. Their weapons and armor are as hard as any forged steel, and their walls often appear to be constructed without seams. And with that, I'll bring you guys to the next lore object. We're here at the second of the 4 fishtails. This is Waterspeakers. Waterspeakers is in the Valley of the Four Winds at New Cifera questing hub. And the coordinates are 6134. Let's see what the Waterspeakers have to say. In the days before the Sundering, legend has it that all rivers flowed to Pandaria. Few were more aware of this than the clever Jinyu. Over time, the wisest of their people learned to commune with the waters of the river and listen for the future and news that it brings. These elders were respected by most races and earned their title of Waterspeakers. Alright, we'll see you at the 3rd lore object. We're at the 3rd of the 4 fishtails. This is Origins at the Fallsong village in the Krasarang Wilds, up here at the North Waterfalls. Its coordinates are 3038 inside this small temple. Let's go see what the origins of the Jinyu are. This early Jinyu shrine may provide some insight to the origins of the race. Depicted in this collection of squat, primitive aquatic creatures, they surround a series of pools on a field of gold, perhaps a rendering of the Veil of Eternal Blossoms. One of the primitive creatures holds a staff aloft besides the waters, but the symbols that surround his head are of an unknown language that likely predates the first Mogu dynasty. The exact connection between these early aquatic creatures and the veil remains unclear. And there you have it. That's the origins of the Jinyu. And I'll see you for the chilling conclusion about these aquatic creatures. And we're here at the 4th and final lore object for the fishtails. This is Roll Call. This can be found at the Kun-Lai Summit in Inkgill Mire at the bottom right. You'll get some quests and go out here at the very start, so this will be a zone you might know of. Alright, let's go inside this small little temple again and see what the lore object has in store for us for the conclusion of the story. The Jinyu operate in a strict caste society, clearly evidenced by this stone tablet engraved with names. Eggs are sorted early on based on the needs of the community. Many Jinyu are cast as workers, diligently put to work building dams or other constructions. Others are selected to be craftsmen and immediately undergo a rigid apprenticeship on hatching. Only warriors and priests are given access to the most food and finest shelters, and only the most successful of priests can ascend to the role of elder or water speaker. It is taboo for the Jinyu caste to intermingle. And there you have it. That's a bit of lore about the Jinyu race, these fish-looking guys. Here's a terrified one that you can interact with during a quest. This is a hostile zone, so be careful while you are questing and looking for these lore objects. And I'm sure most of you who are going to be level 90 and flying, so shouldn't be too much of a problem. But here we are. That's the story. Stick around for the final bit, which is the location of all 4 lore objects, so you can get this achievement, Fishtails, for yourself. After you complete the achievement, Fishtails, you get a quest in the mail from Lore Walker Cho. Greetings. I hear you have learned much of the clever Jinyu. Perhaps you should join us at the Seat of Knowledge and share with us this wisdom you have learned. Included should be a map to our location. I look forward to our next meeting. Sincerely, Lore Walker Cho. So you get this item, and I'm going to delete that, and it gives you a quest. So let's see what the quest is. Dear Valinet, I have thoroughly enjoyed reading your research in the Jinyu, a fascinating people and quite clever too. If you visit us at the Seat of Knowledge in the Vale of Eternal Blossoms, we can add this contribution to your personal collection. Thank you for your diligence. Sincerely, Laura Walker Cho. So let's go do that. I'm just going to fly there and be right back. And if you've never been to the Seat of Knowledge before, it is at the Mogushan Palace in the Vale of Eternal Blossoms. This down here is the raid entrance. Don't go there, go above that, and you're going to need flying to get into here. So level 90s may be your best friend. You'll see this great hall with a great scroll and Lore Walker Cho.
Hello.
Let's turn this in. This is a real treat. I always did enjoy the Jinyu. Such peaceful people with a real appreciation for wisdom. We will add this knowledge to your collection. If you wish me to narrate this for you, simply point to the correct volume in your private collection.
Jade's serpent guide you.
And now you have reputation with the Lore Walkers.
Great events often have humble beginnings. Consider a quiet pond. Still, the water is like a sheet of glass. Until I throw a stone. Such a small thing. But soon, ripples engulf the whole of the lake. The Jinyu also have humble origins. Once primitive creatures, they were fortunate enough to live near the enchanted pools within the veil. The magic of the pools expanded their minds and grew their bodies until they became one of the great ancient cultures of Pandaria. The wisest of the Jinyu are very wise indeed. They can speak to the rivers the way you and I would consult our elders. In the whispering waters, they can hear the future. The Jinyu and their Waterspeakers stand at the very heart of the greatest events in Pandaria's history. Their visions built empires, freed slaves, and warned our last emperor of the Sundering that shattered Azeroth 10,000 years ago. Think about it. The smallest voice can change the world. Consider that, friend, the next time you decide to start throwing stones.
And there you have it. The conclusion of the Jinyu tales. Alright everyone. Hope you've enjoyed this lore. And make sure to stay tuned for the rest of the video, which will show you, again, the locations of each of these 4 scrolls and lore objects. Later, adventurers. Watersmithing. This is at the Moonwater Retreat, way at the south of the Jade Forest. It's at coordinates 6687. Waterspeakers. Waterspeakers is in the Valley of the Four Winds at New Cifera, questing hub, and the coordinates are 6134. Origins at the Fallsong village in the Krasarang wilds, up here at the north waterfalls. Its coordinates are 3038 inside this small temple. Roll call. This can be found at the Kun-Lai summit in Inkgill Mire at the bottom right. Let's go inside this small little temple.